Hello everybody. Today I'm using an opportunity where I just have to sit here and wait for a relative to go to this church. It's an Eastern European something church. I'm not a religious person, so not 100% sure what's happening, but I dropped off a relative, so I'm just waiting for her. And I'm stuck here, so it's probably I have like another 15 minutes or so. And I thought I would take this opportunity to explore, if I may call it that, quirks and features of a Lincoln Town Car from the back seat. So as I'm kind of sitting here all bored, I thought about, man, there's a lot of interesting stuff in here, and you can kind of see I'm sitting in the middle seat. You can probably hear the leather like making a little noise there, and let's take a look. So a couple things that I explored from the back seat. So check this out. So the front seat, from the back seat. So the front seat is all the way up, right? I don't have a signature L, so in order for me to turn it into a signature L, the front seat will have to be all the way up. And check this out. When the seat moves all the way up, it's actually rubbing against the armrest / this storage cubby, right? So I wonder how many of those storage cubbies are broken, where the button, where the gold button in my case, is broken off, and so many of those cubby holes, are flying open because of the seat, right? Because it's causing, right? It's obviously putting pressure on this. This is not a very sturdy piece to begin with, but I've never seen a design where the seat is not meant to be moved all the way up. Otherwise, it's causing structural damage to itself. Now, in my case, as you can see, like I need to move the seat all the way back in order for me to comfortably fit at being 5'11", and behind the steering wheel. At 5'11", I'm not the tallest person in the world, and I'm such a huge car. Got to move all the way to the back. So how many little old grandpa and grandmas have to move all the way up? And by doing that, they automatically kind of start breaking their own armrest. So that is very strange. All right, another thing that I noticed, even though this car was released in 2006, this little, here I gotta zoom out, this little cubby hole in the back door is a perfect size for my Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So I tested it. I'm like, man, what would you put in here, right? Because in 2006, cell phones were a little different. And this is a perfect size for Samsung Galaxy Note 20. Just so happens to be. Any larger than that, pardon my knees, any larger than that, and it would have to be it won't fit. Excuse me, and it won't fit. Let's look at this. So this ashtray, right? Now I don't smoke. I think somebody at some point probably smoked in this vehicle, because I do have a burnt mark right behind this Bluetooth speaker. But in the back, when I bought it, it didn't smell like smoke. It doesn't smell like smoke right now. But look at this. So I'm sitting here playing around with this ashtray, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, like what is this? Oh, looks like I got a little bug in there, but that's not a problem. And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that probably before 2006, there used to be a little light that would come through that opening that's clearly there for a wire with a little LED or a light or some sort to come through and shine through, so you can actually see right in there where you're putting your ashes from your cigarette or cigar. And somehow they figured that who cares about the light? Let's not even worry about it. Another thing I noticed is, look at this crease. Now it feels like they try to replicate in there the two storage cubbies that are in the front, and somehow maybe at the last minute, at the 11th hour, they're like, you know what, it's gonna probably cost us, I don't know, $5-10 more per car to put one of these foldable things here. And obviously, well, I have the child seat, so you see I kind of put all the child seats stacked on one another because I wanted to sit in the back and kind of explore. Well, you can't see it on the other side, but anyway, they wanted to put it, oh God, I feel naked. So they never bothered putting it in here. Another thing I noticed is this thing, right? This motor axis. Now, I've never went inside this thing. I'm afraid that if I pull on it, something might snap or break or whatever. But this little axis cover for the sunroof, right? I had cars with sunroofs. Actually, majority of my cars were with sunroofs. Buick LaCrosse had a big panoramic sunroof. It did not have this. My Toyota Camry had it. Our Forester currently has it. My Nissan Sentra 2003 had it. I've never seen this access point. So the question is, how come any of the other cars, including older cars, just don't have that? So maybe somebody can comment in the comments, because like I said, I have never seen it anywhere else but on town cars, basically. Now, Mercury, Grand Marquis had sunroofs. They probably had the same thing. Exploring here, we're going to move a little forward here to this console area. Okay, it's nice that it has the rear vents. I close them when nobody's riding in the back so I can have more air coming through the front vents. So this is cool, but then I noticed these things right here. What is this? Here, let's see. Yeah, what kind of, because I've played around with this before, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, well then maybe this is to send the air, down in your feet. But at the same time, when the air, whether it's the heat or air conditioning, is on in the front, I never feel anything coming out from this bottom. Here, let's see how I can film this. From this bottom grill of this thing. So once again, I look forward to somebody commenting, is it something because something is broken in my town car? It's possible. Or is it because just it's there for aesthetics, or maybe for an air intake? But I don't know what purpose can this serve when this thing is, whether it's open or closed, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter also what setting is in the front. I see some more churchgoers are coming, so we'll see. All right, some kids got out of this car, and they were talking real loud. So anyway, all right, another thing I noticed here, let me zoom out a little, are these handles, right? These grab handles. I counted 3. I never realized that the front doesn't have it. Now, I find that particularly interesting because this car was kind of, yeah, it was made for limo companies and taxis and whatnot, but at the same time, it was made for an older population, so they kind of cheaped out. They didn't want to put a handle up there for your elderly folks who actually need it, and I actually like holding on to it. Now, I understand the idea is that you're going to have your hands on the steering wheel, right? But still, what would it cost them to put another one of these over here, and then you can hold on to whatever it is that you want to hold on to. So, all right. Oh, what else? Well, probably the last thing on the inside is the fact that this little carpeted area mimics the carpeted area in the front, but it is so tiny and fuzzy, and it's got a little opening for, I think, 1 screw hole, so this one's probably clips in. I don't know, I find this a little cute, that it's got the little fuzzy carpet area in here that they wanted to kind of put in there. Now, this is not particularly, interesting, but on my car I realized that in the back, you see, there's a little material separation. You see how this crease is wider here? So I wonder, is this maybe caused by the back seat? Because sometimes if I slide it back all the way, I don't know. Or is it just from age, like the heat and the cold, and I see it's kind of starting to separate. I know a lot of folks have it in the front, and so do I. So if you can see right here, let's see, right there, somebody obviously tried Gorilla gluing, this piece in there. I didn't do it. I bought the car like that, so it's, I knew it. But I wonder how many people destroy this area, once again, with the seat, and then the way that the rubbery material that it's made out of kind of expands over time, you know. So the quality is not that good. Now, we all know that, you know, these were competing with cars like, you know, twice its price point, you know, like the Mercedes or BMWs. But, you know, still the quality, it could be better, right? Like we all know that. The plastics, some of the interior cheapness, you know, the fact that this whole thing is just a big block, just rectangles. But we like it that way, right? I mean, we love these cars for what they are. Or the fact that even that this whole middle console, right, it's all kind of cheapo plastic, you can kind of see. And then the way it's installed in there is even more bizarre. You have like brackets that go underneath the seat. So in order to remove this, you have to remove the seat, and then it exposes the brackets that kind of hold it in place and kind of, you know, do the tunnel hump. Yeah, it's kind of like plastered and screwed in. So that's kind of weird. All right, well, we're gonna end this video by me showing you my new alternator belt and pulley, and then we'll wrap it up. And I think my relative should be coming out shortly. All right, so here it is. Here's the new alternator. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The belt is kind of new, I guess. Yeah, I can kind of see that it's new. Now, it also said the pulley. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know which one of these is the pulley. I don't know. Is it that thing? Or is it this thing? Or maybe it's part of the alternator. Or is that thing? Or it's any... Or, oh, you know what? It's probably this. I'm guessing. Like what causes the tension. And, okay, well, the bottom line is it's new. Now, the old one was nice and shiny. I guess this one is a little nicer and shinier, but overall, I mean, it's kind of what it is. So hopefully this will make my car last a bit longer. Not exactly sure what else to show you here, but yeah, I can probably check the air filter while I'm here with you. I replaced it last year, and I know it's kind of a pain to get this housing back on, but you know, I'm gonna check it. If it's dirty, I'll just replace it. Here's the new battery. I mean, it's nice and new as it was before from February. So I don't like regret changing it. I mean, it's not gonna hurt it. It was a very low hanging fruit. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's a little dirty. Okay, it's a little rust spots here and there, but it starts, it stops, it drives the car. I mean, what else could I possibly ask this thing to be? All right, everybody. Well, here's my my way of having the time pass by, and we'll see you next time. You know what, folks? It's not over yet. And of course, somebody's driving the loudest moped in the world. Anyway, so while I'm still waiting here, I remembered that I would probably replace my wipers. They were getting pretty old, and you know, I go for the cheap stuff. So I go for like the Walmart $3 special. So I usually get to replace them twice a year. But I'd rather replace, you know, $6 worth of wipers twice a year and be okay with it than get one of those $30 per wiper special that, you know, might last you 2 years. But I'd rather do it on the cheap side. So I couldn't help but to mention the fact that to replace wipers on these things, because they go underneath the hood, you know, you can't pull them away far enough to easily replace it. You have to do one of those where you start the car, you know, or don't start the car, but get it into the accessory mode and then stop the wipers, you know, halfway through by turning off the ignition switch. So that's another weird thing. Some of the more modern cars, they have a button on the screen that just basically has like maintenance mode for wipers, and they stop them halfway or something like that, or like this, and for whatever reason, this doesn't. And then here was another interesting fact about this car that I just noticed, and this is only because I started talking about how the seat, if you move it all the way up, look at that, it goes like this, right? So it shouldn't be like this, because apparently this, for some reason, they thought that nobody would ever move the seat so close. But check this out. If I turn the ignition Now keep in mind, now my memory settings have nothing to do with it, because obviously my memory settings don't have the seat, you know, two inches away from the dash. So when I turn the ignition, look what happens. Oh, well, I gotta put the key in first. Forgot about that. The little tiny detail. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to do it like this. Check this out. So, hence, that's why this crease is here. So we're gonna put the key in the ignition, and look what happens. Check this out. So when I turn it on, right, and then open the door. Oh, that's weird, because I could have swore what just happened was the seat moved a little backward. Okay. And what the... Oh, there you go. Look at this. So, okay, so, because I wasn't sure what, because I was like, what is happening? Because as I was trying to get my wipers, you know, into the mode where I can actually replace them, because this is what I'm talking about. You can only get them off the windshield so far. Yeah, then this happened, you see? So this is like maybe the easy exit feature, but once again, what's an easy exit feature if it only moved the seat a little bit? But it moved the seat far enough from, you know, for it to clear. So so ideally, I guess if the car was designed, or if somebody thought about it before, they would have made the seat move up only up to here. But yet they still have enough travel in the seat, for whatever the reason is, for that to happen. And let's see, the backrest. Yeah, so the backrest is all the way up. But ideally, it could only, you know, it should only go up like this. Now my memory feature, if I click number 1, it goes like this. See? So there's something programmed into this module where I guess it's designed to you know, to protect itself. Oh, there you go, the backrest moves up. But then when you move it all the way up, you know, that happens. So anyway, that's why so many of these armrests get kind of weird and funky, and the buttons fall off. Well, probably one of the reasons, simply because of the weird design with the seat. Okay, all right, I think I bored you enough. We'll see ya.